Hey there, Big Black Rainbow's team owner of Solar Phoenix. I am joined alongside today by GGG's team owner, Elite Omega, and their mid laner Kakari. How you guys doing this evening?
Doing pretty
Pretty
good.
good. How you
Wonderful.
doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I had a rough day at work with the rain and everything. A little wet, but I'll make it through. So,
God, what happened?
the military happened. And military with weather does not give two shits about anything. So, um, yeah, I want to first off say to you guys, congrats on making playoffs. And the first question I'm going to ask more towards Omega since he was the deciding factor of this first question. If I remember correctly, you paid the entry fees and stuff like that for Duo before you actually had a team in place. What was what was your thought process behind that, and then how did you eventually find the team to play for this season?
I'm gonna be 100% with you. Shuno scared me. He threatened me with his cat claws and then pinned me down and told me to pay.
Okay, okay.
100%, not lying. True story.
Let me find out Sheena's a bully. um,
Um, and I mainly just found Kakari, and then he was like, "Well, I got a few guys," and then I found them, and they're like, "Oh, well, I got a few guys," and I was like, "Okay, that's it, right?"
okay. So, Kakari, for the second half of this question, how does the team fit in game? Like, do you guys kind of all get along? Um, is there any issues within the team, or are you guys just kind of really jiving and having fun?
Yeah, the team fits pretty together pretty well. We have like a little bit different roster now, and like I don't really know how the team works with the other mid laner, but I mean it really shouldn't be any different. Our bot lane is a couple, so like they kind of have their own vibe throughout the game, and our jungler is friends with them, I believe. So he kind of feeds off them, and then I know Flame from our other team, so we kind of rely on each other a lot. So like we kind of really have synergy between like two groups of people, and we try to like bring that together. And I'm not sure about the mid laner. Well, I don't know where we got him from. I think he might be friends with them as well.
He's friends with our bot lane.
Yeah, so I think most of the synergy is around bot lane, built around bot lane, and um, playing to them.
Okay, all right. So moving forward from that, in game, who does a lot of the shot calling? Is it like the jungle support that is kind of the standard for every team, or do you guys kind of shake it up a little bit?
Um, Kind of just depends. Like I said, I don't really know how the team works with Meacham, but when I play, I usually like take control of shot calling like halfway through, but I know that the jungler likes to talk a lot, and like we just try to facilitate plays through what he wants to do, and after that we ask the lanes like what they need. So yeah, I'd say like probably split between me and the jungler,
All right.
or the other mid laner, the jungler, I guess.
Okay. All right. So, Omega, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your first season in duo, correct?
It is.
All right. So, how would you feel, or how do you feel, you did this season compared to like what your expectation was, or compared to the rest of the server's expectations?
I didn't hear the last part of your question. Can you say that again?
The how did you feel you did compared to your own expectation and the server's expectation of you guys?
Well, the server thought we were gonna be absolute shit, so there's that. And I kind of believed them at first 'cause I don't know any of the guys when I first got them, and I bought in the league whenever before I even had a rosters. I didn't really know if I was going to have a stable roster or what was going to go on, so I thought would be lucky to make the playoffs, or if I was a borderline playoff team, I'd be happy.
Okay. Kakari, do you have any thoughts on how you guys did this season compared to others' expectations?
Well, I didn't really play like the second half of the season, so myself aside, I thought the team played pretty well, and they had like a lot of bright spots against some really good teams. Like I think we lost to most of the upper like teams that were considered like ranked above us, but like I saw a lot of good things out of the team like in some of those games, and then it was kind of like they just lost it, and then it got worse from there. But yeah, I'm pretty sure like well, the thing is about duo, like everyone just talks shit the whole time, and like everyone's like, I'm the best team, like, and it's like they just joined, and it's like, I'm the best team, we're gonna whoop everyone, and then they lose, and then they're never heard from again. Or it's like some team that's like played 4 seasons ago, and they're like, we were the best team now then, so we're the best team still, and then they come in, and then they like, barely make playoffs or like miss playoffs or whatever it is, and there's just like certain teams that are gonna show up and like they're gonna at least make the match interesting, and then there's some that like kind of pretend to be like that and they don't really do that. So
All right.
I think we did well in comparison to a lot of the teams that thought they were going to be really good and weren't. So
Yeah, you weren't one of the teams that dropped out, like the EQ Storm and Midnight, so you got that going for you guys this season for sure.
yeah.
Moving on from that, um, I know you said you didn't play a lot of games, but when you did play and you got to hear comms and see people's performances and stuff, who would you consider to be this season's MVP for your team?
I don't know. Flame is really good. Some people give him like a lot of credit and they think he's good. Some people think he's bad, but Flame is actually like really, really, really good. And he kind of always can pull the team together and like, make the play needed to like win a fight or something. And he's got like really good personality, so like he can get everyone's energy like really high, and shot call and like keep each other focused on like what we're supposed to be doing. So I think Flame's really good about doing that. Just because I think our bot lane works so well together that neither of them is really like outshining the other. They kind of just like are always like supporting each other. So yeah, and the jungler is new, so he's kind of just finding his way into the team. But Flame is always pretty solid, so I'd say he's probably gonna be MVP.
Okay.
To give it to anyone.
What do you think, Omega?
I'm probably gonna go with either our support or jungler.
Okay.
Our jungler has had a lot of jungle pressure every game, especially here as of late. And I believe he was a player to watch one week. I don't remember which week it was. Yeah, he's just been doing really good. The only game where never mind.
All right. Rip the camera, but all right. So let's get into some spicier questions. The last edition, there it is, for the community power rankings came out, and you guys were placed 5th behind PSB, Soul, White, and the new roster of Rift. Do you think that's an accurate representation representation of where you guys think you are? And if so, why or why not?
You can go first.
Why is White ahead of us? Question mark.
Did we beat them?
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
in
we
charge
did
of
beat
that,
them.
so I'm
Did we
not
beat
sure.
them? I didn't play
I
them,
don't
so
know.
I don't know.
Fourth,
But
fourth
I
or
thought you
fifth
guys
seems
beat them.
accurate.
I don't know. I don't think. I see. I don't think it's necessarily wrong because what 6 teams made playoffs,
8.
right? 8.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I'd say we're better than about half of the teams in playoffs, and if you consider like at the very least like PSB's good, like way better than the rest of the teams. So like if they're 1, then 2, 3, 4 is just like the second seeds, and we're
Mm-hmm.
not like trying to say that we're gonna 3-0 every second seed. So I mean, fourth or fifth is probably right, but I think our game against you guys is gonna be pretty good. I think that Rift Dragons, whoever they're playing, game should be pretty good. So
All right.
we'll see.
Now that regular season over and both of you have got to see how far your rosters or the roster has come, even with player change ups, how do you think the team's going to be feeling going forward? And then what do you expect from the first round against Solar Phoenix?
I don't know. The roster is pretty solid, so I don't have any complaints about that. I think everyone feels pretty good. As long as we keep practice up and have a decent game plan, I don't see why it shouldn't be a good series. I think you guys are good. You guys are solid, pretty much all the way around. Obviously, like you guys have weaknesses, just like every team does. So if we can find a way to exploit yours and limit ours, then maybe we can win and move on. And if we can't, do that, then hopefully we'll make it a close series. But I think the games have the opportunity to swing either way because I think we play up to competition a lot. I think we can play down to competition a lot. So we'll see.
All right, your thoughts, Omega?
Uh, I feel like it's gonna be a really good series. I don't know what's gonna happen, but as long as we come out and perform, we should have a really good chance to beat y'all. It wasn't really a too good showing 2 or 3 weeks ago versus y'all, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Bad games, best of ones aren't really the best way to determine if a team's better than the other. So we'll see when it comes to playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. It's so hard to tell how good a team actually is off of one draft,
Very, very
especially
true.
if you haven't like scrimmed them in like a couple times or something, or at least once or something. Like people get blown out all the time by teams worse than them just because they like tried one new pick or like weren't ready for one pick. So I don't know.
I agree with that. I remember the first game that we had, it was like week 4 or week 3 or whatever the case may be. And it was like a really, really close match. And it was literally just like one team fight that decided the game down in the bot lane. But like before that, you guys were doing really well. And like you said, Kakari, it's really hard to just see how a team is off of one game because there's off days, there's like you said, new picks that you got to try out. So I definitely think
I
the
actually remember the
series. Go ahead.
I actually remember the play that won y'all the game. Y'all were our first loss.
Yeah, I know. That was the surprising part because like no one expected you guys to come out the gate undefeated, and then it was we were undefeated and you guys were undefeated, and then it was like I said, literally one play that decided that game, which was really unfortunate.
You like four-man or bot?
Yeah, Vladimir was in the bot lane, and then he got four man, and then we had our ADC and top, I think it was, come down to save his ass. But yeah, um,
Or he did.
but yeah, it was a really exciting game, and I definitely think a series is a more accurate representation of how a team is overall. So, like you guys said, it's gonna be it's gonna be a close match, and I think there'll definitely be some games built on both sides. Um, but moving forward, did you guys perform better or worse than what you had expectations for? So I know earlier we were talking about the server expectations, but I want to hear about your guys' personal expectations when you like first got the roster, when you started adding new players. How do you think you guys felt overall?
Expectations is a pretty big word. I was just stressed. There's no expectations when you're just sitting there thinking, am I even going to have a roster for next week? Or are they going to show up to practice? Or, what? So, I'm glad we did what we did. And I feel like we could have done better, but, I'm happy with what we did.
That's respectable.
I don't know. For me, like some of our early wins, like I thought we were winning, and I don't know. I'm kind of like I'm very picky. Like I'm kind of a perfectionist, especially by myself. And like we had a lot of wins where we just had a lot of dumb mistakes. That bothers me. So like I felt like we could have been even the games we were winning. It was like we could have done so much better. Like we got lucky that game, you know. So that's how I felt like coming out of the gate. And I think that the roster like itself has solidified pretty well. Um, so I think even though like we lost a lot towards the end of the season, the guys really like got their fundamentals together and like really like settled into like the competitive um, style of game and kind of grew in that way. So even though like I thought like we won a lot at the beginning, I thought we were actually playing way worse at the beginning of the season than we were when we were losing. So kind of weird, I guess.
Okay, all right, that's an interesting take for sure. Um, what was your guys' favorite moment of the season, either like individually or as a team perspective?
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember the last time I played. Somewhere up there.
You know what? I have my favorite moment, but it didn't end up in a good outcome for us.
Oh, okay. Do tell.
Omori's Thresh Flash.
Was it the Yumi game?
It was it was our last game of the season.
I wonder if they.
Flash Lantern.
He tried to flash lantern, and yeah, he didn't get
Yes,
there in time or
he
something.
tried it. He tried it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Is it the clip that was posted like last week or something like that?
Yes, it was a clip they showed on the stream for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I told Tommy to put that in the PSV interview because he was talking about how like he hates Thresh now, and I sincerely hope he put that because I was laughing my ass off when I saw that clip. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite moment. I guess I just like what if the boys are playing on stream, I watch them, talk some shit in chat. That's usually my favorite thing to do. So
you like to flame?
Only when it's like egregious to the point where like everyone knows I'm kidding.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean?
So let's move forward to some of the more interesting questions about your own opinions. So obviously, no one went undefeated this season, as PSB did pick up their only loss. How did your team specifically deal with like losing games and moving forward to like next week's prepare or the preparedness for next week's game and stuff like that?
I don't really think like our team has a bad mental about losing at all. We usually like right after the game we'll talk for like 15 minutes and just really address like directly all the problems that everyone had in the game. Like, you know, bot got way too much pressure and we didn't do anything about it, or you know, our jungler wasn't on the map enough, you were farming too much. Just really like get everything out like right away, and then after that everyone just you know, lets the game go, goes their own way, and then practice in a couple of days or whatever. So
Okay.
If we win or if we lose, we just discuss after the game what happened, what we could have done better. You know, did we not draft something we should have? Did we not ban something? Did we not rotate here or there? And then after that, we go our separate ways, and we come back the next week ready to practice and play.
Okay. So it sounds like you guys have a strong mental, which is always great when you're in a competitive setting. Was there any teams that you guys thought were a lot easier to beat than what you expected going into that match?
I have to like look at the teams.
Yeah, hold on, let me look.
All right.
Easier to beat. I don't know, not really. I think all the teams were like okay. I mean, the competition was pretty. I guess like the last two seeds for both divisions had negative records. So like realistically, it was like the top three, and then everyone else. So I guess the table was like pretty even, other than the fact that the top, you know, two teams were really ahead of everyone. I'd say if anything, like teams that you expected to be worse were like way stronger than what you expected.
Oh, okay. Is there a certain team you have in mind that you think is a lot stronger than what their record represents?
I don't remember what team it was, but I remember what team is Fridge on? Plays mid.
A3 Esports.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good. I mean they're 8-11, so it's like weird that they get playoff consideration. But I thought their team was actually pretty good, and they beat us. So I think they beat us. I'm pretty sure they
They
beat us.
did.
Did we only play them once?
We played them
Played
once in the cross conference. I don't know. EQS, I thought they were gonna be a hard matchup because they were, I believe, 4-2.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, I guess I get both those teams confused. The EQ teams. Which one is EQE? The one with Sam Wallace on it?
Yes.
I played them with my other team, and we beat them pretty easily with that team. So I'm not really like super scared of them. So I guess like if you want to say them, but like I guess the EQS team we actually like beat pretty handily, I think. So, but since they're 4-15, wait, did they lose their remaining 13 games?
They lost
13 in a
like
row.
7 weeks in a
Yo,
row.
stop.
Yeah, they went on a hard 7-8 game losing streak, and then after that, they all just rage quit the server. So they ended up forfeiting.
See.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess probably them then, huh? Because they were talking the most shit right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then won a couple games and then everyone realized that they weren't that good. Hey, stop it. Oh my god, my cat is crazy.
All right. So you think the EQS team to Omega was like the kind of surprise for you guys?
Yeah.
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 All right. Okay. So, last two questions here. Based on your experience, who does the most flaming, either in game, out of game, in general chat, whatever the case may be? And then who gets flamed the most?
You have him in call.
I probably do the most flaming.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You just gotta keep him in line, Like, what are you gonna do?
True. True. You gotta make sure the
Everyone's
ego
inting
doesn't.
around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they know, like, or at least I hope they know. That I'm not like yelling at them. I'm not we just gotta get on the same page, and we don't have time to waste. Like, and everyone has to understand that. So, and Flame like matches that energy with me. So, when we get on the same page, we know like we're just trying to fix the problem as fast as possible. It's not like I'm coming after him, right? Like, I don't actually care. Like, it's a game, right? Like, I'm not gonna tear your head off and insult you as a person because we lost. But yeah, no, I guess I've played the most.
Okay. All right. The last question for both of you, if you can remember, what would you consider to be your biggest oops moment as a team?
We throw a lot of games. Like, we had about 7 losses. I honestly think we could have probably had like 3 losses if we played like optimally. At least like from games that we had like decent enough leads to consider them thrown. Probably could have had like 3 to 4 losses. So yeah, we throw a lot.
I'm gonna say it now. I'm gonna say it once, and I'm gonna say it clear. Both PSB games. Both of them.
Oh yeah, we almost beat them the first game too. I forgot about that.
We literally ran it down mid versus a Vayne, and then
Oh,
she
that's
won
true.
3.
Yeah. She lived like 0
And then
HP. I remember. I forgot
game,
about that game.
We gonna shut down their jungler, who's gonna int into us, and then we're just gonna, let the soda gap.
Yeah, Toda Gap is real. I feel that all too frequently.
How do you carry on? I've never seen anyone carry on that champion. I've never seen it. Corky mid.
Dude, Corky's so strong right now. Oh my gosh.
Hate it.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, well, so that's all the questions I have. Is there any last comments that either you would like to say, whether that be like praise, flame, or just any additional thoughts you guys have?
GGG 2-1 Solar Phoenix.
Oh, that's a hot take. All right, I love it.
It's a best of 3?
Yeah.
It's a best of 3? Oof. Okay.
Hot take. What's hot about it? It's just fact.
Oh, I love it. All right, bet. This is what I live for.
I mean, fuck the 2-1, right? We might as well just 2-0, right?
Oh! That's one better. All right. Do you have any last thoughts besides that, Kakari? You're just gonna stick with the 2-0 and have it be the GGD gap? Is that what you're gonna call it?
Yeah, it's gonna be the GGD gap.
Hell
it's gonna
yeah.
be 2-0, and then we're gonna get 0-2.
All right. So, like I said, that's all I have. I appreciate your guys' time. Once everything gets edited out, I'm sure you guys will enjoy the interview, and we will see you sometime this weekend.
Wait, Kakari, can I have that wave gap? Wave check. Ooh.
Yeah. Get the wave, bro.
Hell yeah.
Get them waves.
Catch you guys later.
All right. See ya.